Hi everyone. I am making a video tonight about the lifestyle modifications that I've had to make since being diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia. As you all know, I have both types of trigeminal neuralgia, TN1 and TN2, in both sides of my face. And so I've had to make some pretty rapid lifestyle modifications in order to just continue existing. I am in quite a bit of pain right now. I was actually trying to go to sleep and I just couldn't because of the pain. I took my emergency dose of medicine, and it's still not kicking it, so I'm just kind of waiting for things to die down to a little more tolerable level. And I thought it might help me to make this video. They sometimes help me feel a little bit better. Having trigeminal neuralgia completely changes your life. There's not one single aspect of life that hasn't changed for me. I exist every minute of every day at a level of pain that would probably leave most people in tears in bed. But I have to do it. I don't have any other option. I just push through. So I wanted to share some of the lifestyle modifications that I've made, in case you know anyone who has this disorder. I have an extreme form of the disorder, but most people out there who have this have it on one side of their face and usually have one type. But the pain is nevertheless excruciating, regardless of what type you have or how severe it is. It's known as the worst pain known to mankind. There's a lot of pains out there I haven't experienced, but if there's anything worse than this, I wouldn't want to know. But I'm just going to jump right in and talk about some of the lifestyle modifications I've made. And maybe you don't have TN, but maybe you have chronic pain and these might be able to help you. And this list is not in any specific order. It just is what I have written down. So first and foremost for me was finding a face shield. If I didn't have a face shield, I couldn't leave my house. The wind, even the lightest little breeze, can trigger a flare, and so finding a face shield was critical for me. Now I went through one other face shield before I found the one I currently use, and I'll post some information about the face shield that I currently use because it's the best option I found. The most important part of this is that it protects your face without touching it, and that was a really hard thing to find. But I finally located a welder's shield on Amazon that is super lightweight and it's adjustable, and it really protects my face really well. It is cumbersome, it is big because it wraps around the whole face and it protects it. So it is a nuisance. It's very annoying, but I wouldn't be able to leave the house without it. And then the cold, of course, cold and heat both make mine worse. And so over the face shield, I'll wrap a giant scarf, and to keep the cold air out. So the face shield is the number one lifestyle modification that I've made. Without that, I would be stuck in the house. The next lifestyle modification is facial cleansing. So for me, it's always been important to have a clean face. About 5 years ago, I stopped being able to wear makeup because every time I would put it on, my face would hurt, and At that time, I thought it was allergies, and I tried everything that I could. I tried the most hypoallergenic makeup that you can even find on the market. I did a lot of research to find it, and I tried it, and my face would still hurt when I would put it on. Looking back, that may have been some of the early stages of this. I don't really know. But for me, facial cleansing is very important. Before all of this started, I would use, everything fragrance-free, hypoallergenic soap and cleanse my face, and I would exfoliate. But of course that requires a lot of contact with your face, because you have to touch it to wash it, and then you have to touch it to rinse it. So what I do now is I just use a washcloth with lukewarm water, not cold and not hot. Just a clean washcloth with lukewarm water, and I wipe it over my whole face. So it's just a one-time process. It hurts really bad, but it has to be done. I'm just not going to not ever cleanse my face again, and my disease is incurable. So this is what I do. I just take the lukewarm water on the clean washcloth and I wash my face. So you're just coming in contact with each part of your face one time, and then it's over. And then I usually need a couple hours to recover from that. But it's definitely better than using soap and water and all of that contact. Probably what does kind of complicate my situation is I have an eye condition called blepharitis, and so about once a week I will take some Cetaphil and wash around my eye area and then rinse it. But that is very painful for me because I do have the trigeminal neuralgia in that area of my face as well. But it does have to be done to exist for me to take care of my eyes, and so I just have to deal with it, and that's the process that has caused me the least pain of what I've found. So on that same topic, for facial cleansing is makeup. I do not wear any makeup. I haven't worn makeup regularly in about 5 years. And I've worn absolutely no makeup in about 2 years. So it's physically impossible for me to put makeup on my face. The pain would be absolutely excruciating, and then to remove the makeup, I don't even want to think about what that would be like. My skin is pretty good because I don't wear makeup, so I don't really need makeup. But even if I did need makeup, I still wouldn't wear it. That's just not a concern for me. My primary concern is my health and trying to keep my pain as low as possible. So I don't wear any makeup. If you work in an industry where you have to wear makeup, maybe try to get out of that industry. And if you can't, they do make some lidocaine gels that you can rub on your face. But of course it requires you to touch your face, and they don't last for very long from what I have heard. So on to the next topic, brushing teeth. When this first happened to me, I realized that brushing my teeth was a trigger. Every time I floss and brush my teeth, I have intense pain. I keep pain in my teeth at all times because of this. My mouth absolutely burns on fire all the time. And I am growing accustomed to it. But I had to make the decision about whether to take care of my teeth and experience the pain, or to not take care of my teeth. And I decided early on that I was going to take care of my teeth, because any amount of pain that brushing and flossing would cause would be much less than the pain of getting a filling or a root canal or an extraction or anything like that. So I decided early on that no matter what, I was still going to take care of my teeth. Now, every day that I am able to floss and brush and rinse my teeth, I do it. There are some days that flossing would be too hard, so I don't do it that day, but I'll do it, maybe twice the next day, if I'm feeling better. There are some days when brushing my teeth just is not possible because I can't get my mouth open far enough to get the toothbrush in. And those days I will, just rinse. Now the products I use, I can't use anything with any mint or spice flavor at all. It has to be the children's bubblegum flavor. The toothpaste, the mouthwash, the floss needs to be unflavored floss. It's unflavored floss has been hard for me to find, so I am still using the mint floss, unfortunately. I have noticed that it does kind of trigger things, but I still have to floss my teeth. So I switched everything out for children's. I use the extra soft baby toothbrush. And I have found that sometimes that's not really strong enough for me, so what I'll do is, the days that my pain is at a lower level, or my medicine is at its maximum peak, I'll take a clean wet washcloth and rub my teeth and get any extra plaque off that I can. Or I'll brush my teeth with maybe just a little pinch of baking soda with some water, a couple times a month if I feel like I can do that, and that will help. On the mouthwash, the kids' mouthwash, you do want to make sure that, for me, it's important that it has fluoride in it to prevent cavities, and same with the toothpaste. Going on to a similar topic is bathing. Bathing is very hard for anybody with chronic pain, because at the end of the day you're absolutely exhausted. What I have found helps me is, and I never thought I would ever do this, especially at the age of 32, but sponge bath has really helped me, knowing that I don't have to get in and out of a full bath that day. Really helps me, and it helps me to save my energy for other things that are maybe more important. So I always make sure that I have lots of clean washcloths, so that I can do a sponge bath. And you'll just kind of figure out what kind of method works best for you. And then scheduling time when you do take a full bath. If you take medicine like I do, I take a lot of medicine. I'm going to make a video about that too. But when you do take a full bath, taking it when your medicine is working at its maximum effect. So for me, that's about 2.5 hours after I've taken my medicine. So I will take my medicine at 6 o'clock that night, and then about 8 or 8:30, if I'm taking a full bath, I'll do it at that time. Washing my hair is a really hard one. I have finally come to the point where I can go a week without washing my hair, and I never thought I'd be that person because I always wash my hair every day. It does take a while to build your hair up to tolerating that, and I went through some greasy hair days, but that's just the new reality that I'm in. Some people say you can use dry shampoo, stuff like that. That doesn't work for me because I have psoriasis on my scalp, and so it just aggravates my psoriasis and makes that worse. So I try not to do anything like that. I don't put any chemicals. I just I alternate between two different shampoos. I have a clarifying shampoo that I'll use one week, and then the next week I'll use like a 2-in-1 shampoo. So it really just depends on which one I grab. So for bathing, putting long periods in between full baths, sponge baths, and finding a way that works best for washing your hair. And of course, I don't blow dry my hair at all. I would never deliberately put any kind of air movement on my face. That would be horrible. So on to the next lifestyle modification, sleeping. Initially, when I was diagnosed, I only had issues on the right side of my face. But over the past 4 months, I've developed both types on the left side of my face as well. So for me, I had always slept on my stomach my whole life. And then on my side, when I developed the osteoarthritis in my spine, I would try to sleep on my back. But my side was sometimes more comfortable. But of course now I have to sleep on my back because if anything touches my face at night, I will wake up screaming in severe pain. So for sleeping, I sleep on my back. I put my bed's up against a wall, so I've got a wall on one side and I have a body pillow on the other side, and that kind of keeps me positioned on my back a little more. They're kind of reminders that I need to stay on my back and not move from side to side. I do sometimes lay on my side. I can never lay on my right side. Never. The pain on my right side is far too severe. On occasion, if I take my emergency dose of medicine and it's all at its maximum working power, I can occasionally sleep on the left side. But it will usually trigger some severe amount of pain, and then I'll have to wake up and let the pain subside a little bit and then go back to bed. So it interrupts my sleep. My sleep is significantly interrupted by my medication regimen. I take medicine every 6 hours on the dot. And when I say on the dot, I don't mean 5 minutes after. I don't mean 5 minutes before. I mean exactly. Now, if I'm in an emergency situation or something like that, or there's something going on, I may take it, 5 or 6 minutes before or after. But when I do that, I do get a lot more pain. So for me, it's very important to stay on that 6-hour regimen. The medicine for me stops working after about 4 hours. I do still get some effect for the last 2 hours, but it's significantly reduced. Unfortunately, you cannot take the medicine that I take more frequently than every 6 hours. So I'm taking it as frequently as I can. Now, the downside to that is I would never get a full night's sleep. So I can never sleep more than 6 hours at a time, and that's if it takes me less than a minute to take my medicine, which it never does because I take so many medications. And if it takes me less than a minute to take the medicine and fall back to sleep, which it doesn't. So at any point in time, I'm getting less than 6 hours of sleep. So I'd say a lot of people with this disorder and chronic pain in general have that happen to them. My recommendation is to take naps whenever you can. Sleep experts will tell you that you cannot catch up on sleep, but my advice is to sleep whenever you can, because any type of sleep regenerates your body and strengthens you anytime that you can sleep, especially when you don't get sleep. Before this happened to me, I was never a nap person. The majority of my 20s, I got less than 4 hours of sleep a night. I was constantly going to school and work, and just living my life. So I was never the type of person that slept a lot. And of course, now that this has happened, my sleep is unrestful because I'm in pain, and I don't get very much sleep at all. But I need it because it helps you to manage your pain better. So it's a double-edged sword. The pain causes you to sleep less because it's painful, and also because the medicine that helps manage it, you have to take it so frequently that you can't sleep a full night. And then that in turn makes the pain worse because you're getting less sleep. So it's just this vicious cycle. So I recommend taking naps whenever possible, because it's important to replenish yourself whenever you can. The next lifestyle change is hairstyle. So I had to really think about this too. Initially, I went to the woman who has cut my hair many times, and I asked her just to shave it off with the clippers because I didn't want it touching my face. And I was glad that she was really thoughtful with me, and she asked me if I could handle the vibrations of the clippers on my face, and I hadn't thought about that, and I said absolutely not. So she sat with me for a good 30 minutes and we talked it out, and we decided that it was just gonna be best for me to leave my hair like a medium length, something that was long enough that I could pull back in a ponytail, but not so long that it was going to be heavy. Now, the problem I run into at this point is at night it will touch my face. It does cause me pain. During the day, the ponytail is heavy. And so I'm thinking that once it gets long enough that I can wear it in a long braid, then that will be better for me. I know that I cannot handle going in and maintaining a short haircut and having someone touch my hair and my head and my face all the time. I definitely can't handle any vibrations from the clippers. Whenever I've had the MRIs to look at my head and my neck when I was diagnosed, the vibrations from the machine set me off on flares both times, and it was horrible. So I definitely can't do that. So for me, just keeping the long ponytail and trying to manage that has been the best option for me so far. The next topic is eating. Eating is sometimes impossible with this. I have had flares so bad that I couldn't eat for maybe 1 or 2 days. And so when that happens, it's important that at all times you have soft foods in your home and liquid nutrition. So juices, orange juice, any type of juice that you like. V8's a good one because you're getting vegetables too. Ensure, Boost, baby foods. There have been days when all I ate was baby food. Making sure that you have something soft in your house at all times. And even on a day-to-day basis, when the pain is at its regular level, it is often hard for me to eat things like toast or any kind of hard crunchy thing. And I love crunchy food, so it's really sad for me. But so I make sure to keep things in the house like noodles and chicken patties and things that are softer and can be eaten a little more easily. Since all of this has happened, it is hard for me to open my jaw as wide as I used to because I do have the spasms on both sides of my face. But I manage it, and I just try to make sure that I keep those foods in the house that are going to be easiest for me to eat. Now, on the days that you can, that's when I recommend eating as much as you can hold. So that you make sure you get in different types of foods and you don't get any sort of deficiencies. And take a multivitamin. I say that, but I don't practice what I preach because I buy them and then I forget to take them because I take so many other medicines. The next topic is medications. I'm not going to get into my regimen right now. I'll save that for another video. But I take medicine 4 times a day, every 6 hours on the dot. And I have an alarm set on my clock for 6 a.m., noon, 6 p.m., and midnight. And whenever that alarm goes off, I stop whatever I'm doing and I take my medicine. Now, there have been times I'm driving in the car, and in those cases, I'll pull over and take my medicine. Or if I can't do that because it's some sort of urgent situation, I will snooze the alarm. But never dismiss it until you actually open up the bag to take your medicine. So setting those alarms helps me. Making sure you've got water with you at all times to take your medicine. Do not forget that. One of my medications is very hard to swallow, even for me, and I've never had issues with taking medicine, but it is hard to swallow, so make sure you have plenty of water with you at all times. In terms of the medicine, I talked to my doctor about having an emergency dose of my neuroleptic medication. And so every day I have one emergency dose that I can take if I feel like the pain is much higher than normal, or it's going to intensify or flare up. And at this point, I'm pretty much taking that every day. The next topic is laundry. And I am working to make laundry easier for me, even more than what it is now. Right now I do laundry once a week, and I do one load of laundry once a week. I work full time, and I still manage to do that. The way that I do that is I essentially wear the same outfit every day. Of course, I don't wear the same socks or, any of the same undergarments every day. Those are all switched. But I have, I have a large quantity of clean socks and clean undergarments and things like that. And I have some shirts and, I wear, the same 2 or 3 shirts and the same 2 or 3 pants and the same 2 or 3 cardigans throughout the week. And it just works out that way for me. What I would like to do is get to the point where I'm doing laundry ideally once a month. I don't know if that's possible. But right now I'm trying to figure out a way to only do it twice a month, so every 2 weeks. Folding my clothes when I get them out of the dryer, and then just kind of leaving them out on a shelf in my bathroom. That helps me because I'm essentially wearing the same things all the time. And a lot of research has shown that most people do not even notice what you have on. So as long as it's clean and it looks clean and professional, appropriate for your work environment, people are not going to notice what you have on. The next topic is grocery shopping. I found the easiest thing to do is to use the Walmart pickup app, and I have been using that. It has saved me a lot of energy and a lot of time, and so I'd recommend that. The next topic is is timing. So as time goes on, you'll kind of realize how to tell, like, when your pain's gonna be lower and you're gonna have more energy to do the things that you need to do. When your pain is manageable, get as much done as you possibly can. Now, don't push yourself to exhaustion. Pace yourself. But be efficient in what you do so that you can get as much done as you possibly can. This is very important because there are going to be a lot of things that go undone, and you're going to have to be okay with it. That's been the hardest thing for me because I've always been somebody that has just gotten things done. I don't like to leave things undone. But I've had to accept my limits because I definitely have some very obvious limits now. And so when my pain is more manageable, when it's a 6 or a 7, then that's when I'm going to get my things done. Because in the next minute or two, it could be an 8 or a 9 or even a 10. There's no way to know from minute to minute what you're going to be dealing with. So when your pain is at a lower level, get some things done. And that goes into the next suggestion that I have, which is prioritizing. Prioritizing is a very important lifestyle modification for people with trigeminal neuralgia or anyone with chronic pain. And that goes back to realizing that things are going to be undone. Not everything's going to get done every day. So you're going to have to set priorities on what's most important and what's least important. And this sometimes can be a struggle, especially when you're in my situation where you have trigeminal neuralgia like I do. And then you're also helping to take care of family members who have a disability. And my mom has a disability and severe chronic pain. So, when you're juggling your own needs and caregiving, it can be a very daunting task. And sometimes you're going to have to put yourself first, and sometimes you're going to have to put others first. And putting myself first has always been a challenge for me. But now with this condition, I have to do it sometimes. And, sometimes that means that things that I would normally do go undone. Do I necessarily have to sweep every day? No. That is much less important than making sure that, some of the, like dishes are done, or the food is put up, or, things like that. So prioritizing is very important, and you will quickly learn what is going to be most important for your lifestyle. Because, if something important goes undone, it's going to have a bigger impact on you. If something less important goes undone, you're going to notice it less. So prioritizing is very important. And my final lifestyle modification, and this is maybe the most important one, is finding a good counselor, a good mental health counselor. When I was first diagnosed, and my diagnosis was confirmed, I felt hopeless, and the amount of changes that I had to make at such a rapid speed just to continue existing is overwhelming. And so I knew that I needed some emotional support outside of my family, because there's only so much that you can, say with your family in terms of not wanting to overwhelm them with your problems. That's what family is there for, is to support each other. But you don't want to put all of your burdens and your full load on your family. And my family, my mom and my uncle, they are also sick. So, I'm there for them, of course, and I want to hear, what's troubling them. And they're there for me, and they want to hear what's troubling me. But it's important that we don't overwhelm each other by just harping on it all the time. So getting that emotional support outside of your family and outside of your friends is really good, because it allows the time that you spend with your family and friends to be focused on other things that might bring something better and more enjoyable to your life when things are pretty bleak. So I actually was referred to a counselor who sees another patient with trigeminal neuralgia. they only have one type in one side of their face. I don't mean only as in it's less severe. I just mean that there's less of their face involved. And she has been very helpful for me in terms of helping me talk through solutions to some of my day-to-day problems that I now face. And she's given me a lot of support for the emotional challenges that I would normally be able to tackle on my own, but because I have this physical health condition, it just makes it too difficult for me to do. So she gives me support in that way. I feel hopeless a lot, and that's very common with this condition. And acknowledging that and talking through that with her has been a blessing for me. Knowing that I can be honest with her about how I feel like my life is a burden now, and talking through that and having that support is very, very important. And anyone suffering from chronic pain, I really recommend that you talk to a counselor who can talk with you whenever you have time. For me, I can only go once a month because I have so many other appointments, and I take my family to other appointments. It just wouldn't be possible for me to go more regularly. But it's so important to have someone that you can talk things through with. So I really recommend counseling. Another modification that I just thought of that I've been doing is I've been trying to do all of my shopping, my grocery shopping, one time a week, so that at any point throughout the week I have a week's worth of supplies in the house for food or whatever it may be. Money has been very, very tight. We've had to go to the food pantry a few times to supplement our food because I've had to take off work due to my illness and my mom's illness. But we are hopeful that things will get better, and we keep praying. One of the most profound lifestyle modifications that I've made since being diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia is accepting things. It's still very hard for me. I've never been good at acceptance because I feel like I always want to make things better. And if I can't make things better, then I failed. But I've had to learn to accept a lot of things. Because I don't have the energy or the physical or any other resources to deal with making it whatever it may be better. So if I can't change something, then I've just made sort of a conscious decision to, as best I can, don't even think about it. We'll see how that turns out. On that same note, I've been learning to say no So I've always been that person to take on extra responsibility, to go the extra, not only mile, but extra 10 miles, and I can't do that anymore. It's not possible. So when I can get things done, they get done, and when I can't, I just have to say no, and it is what it is. I think those are all of the lifestyle modifications that I've got written down. This is a pretty long video. But it's kind of helped me. It helps me to make these videos because I get to talk about what I'm going through in a different way, and I'm not putting the burden on my family or my friends directly. People who want to watch the video can, or you don't have to. But I feel like I've said what I have to say about what's going on with me, and then it's out of me. And maybe something that I've said can help somebody else, and maybe it can bring awareness to the suffering of those of us who have trigeminal neuralgia, and maybe lead to more research and close in on a cure. So thank you all for watching, and like I said, even if someone doesn't have trigeminal neuralgia, these lifestyle modifications that I've made may be able to help somebody. Without these modifications, I would not be able to exist. I wouldn't be able to go to work. I wouldn't be able to do the things I need to do at home, because existence has become a huge burden for me, and I'm trying to make it less burdensome, and make my existence as I don't know about enjoyable, but just make my existence worthwhile. So thank you all, and you all have a good night, and please continue to pray for me. I'm praying for all of you. I know a lot of my friends have chronic pain, and so I'm praying for all of you. I love you all. Good night.